Hello guys, welcome back. As you can see in today's video, we are going to start building our Navbar component. Okay. Before we jump inside this file and start coding, I just want to let you know that if you landed on this video out of the blue, and if you have no idea what you're doing or what we are doing here, you just need to check this video's description. In that description, you will find the full playlists, the full playlist with all the videos that add up to this point, which means you can go from start up to this moment. So that out of the way, let's start building this navbar, which is a bit tricky, like it is normally when we are trying to build a responsive navbar. And as you can see, this is our navbar, okay? So I have a logo on the left, some links on the center, and a button on the right. This, of course, for larger screens. On smaller screens, on medium-sized screens, I better say it that way, we only get the logo on the left and the hamburger icon menu on the right, that if you click, you can open and close our navigation. The same for the mobile view, of course, but there's less horizontal room between these two elements. So this is what we are going to be building in today's video. I hope you guys are excited, so let's start coding. Cool. So first thing, I'm gonna just get rid of this import because we actually don't need it. So navbar, we know that we built this using states. So we are going to be using useState. We build this using hooks from React, and we will be using useState hook from React. And that alone means that we need to use client string as the first thing in our file, okay? After that, I'm just gonna basically copy paste all the imports that I know that we will need. And these imports are these. So the link component, the image component from Next, the hook that I just mentioned, and just some icons. Notice that I have already installed the React icons. I have it inside my package.json file. So in case you have not yet installed React icons, if you're just following this video for the first time, and if you didn't do anything before that, you need to install React icons package, okay? And this is the call to action button, which is another component that we also need to build, because this is another component. So we'll call a component inside the component. And why is this? Because if you notice, we are using plenty of buttons, and this is always the same component. So the same component with the same UI. Of course, the text is different, and the URL, of course. But in terms of UI, the component is the same. So that's why I'm importing that. I'm not really sure if I have that component prepared or not. So call to action button, yeah, I have it here, but it's not built, just a boilerplate. Cool. So let's start then. Navbar. So what we need to do first, as usual, we need to use useState. So I'm gonna start with a const that I'll be calling navigation. So set navigation, okay, equals useState and starts as false, okay. Cool. I did a few tutorials already on navbars, so you can check other videos of my channel. I have actually at least a couple of videos dedicated to this topic, responsive navbars, both using pages directory or app directory. So just look for it, because I'm not gonna explain this in detail. I'm just gonna basically type the code out and give you minor explanations. So handle navigation function, handle navigation that will run on click event. Okay, handle navigation function. This handle navigation function, when the button gets clicked, will be responsible to update the navigation variable. So I'm going to use the set navigation to do that. And all I'm going to do is to basically do the opposite. Okay, so now inside the return, we can start building our UI. The header component, and the header nests the navigation. So we actually are going to start by updating this tag to header, to use the HTML5 semantic tag, the header. And the header is kind of a wrapper in a way. Inside the header, yes, now we get the nav tag. And inside the nav, of course, we'll be building the navbar itself. Okay? So I'm actually gonna just enlarge this because I'm gonna use plenty of classes. So this header, I'm gonna style it. Class name is going to be a width of full because I want full horizontal width. So bg custom blue, there you go. Text custom white. I want this to be fixed like the other bar that I explained it on the previous video. Top, it's going to have again 60 pixels. Sorry, not again. This is not the height. This is because it's fixed, because I want to push it down, because I already have something in here. See? And if you check, hold on a second. This says like 60 pixels. So I need to push this header 60 pixels from the top. So it actually starts right below this other component. So this is why I'm doing it that way. Okay. Left of 0, another z-index with a huge number, custom z-index, 900 this time, doesn't really matter. As long as you make sure that the things are on top of each other, because what we are trying to accomplish is like all the content when we scroll the page needs to go underneath these two components. The one that we built in the previous video and the one that we are building now, which is the navbar. Okay, so that's why. Now we can start working on the nav, and I'm gonna start by styling it, of course. So class name, I want to give a max width of a custom amount, which is going to be 1366. This is just a number that I came up with that works good for me. You can use whatever you want. You can even use like a Tailwind CSS utility class. For that, just read the documentation. Max MX auto, which means center it. The height, this time it's going to be 91 pixels. I came up with this number for any reason, not 91, I don't remember why, but I'm gonna stick to it. Justify between, because we are going to have three things inside the navbar: the logo, the navigation, and the button. Okay. Item center. Okay. And padding X of 7 and padding Y of 4. Cool. And now really is the time for us to start adding content inside our navigation. As we can see now, we now got like the second area, and we can actually compare it. And computer is super slow. Okay. Okay. So we now need to build this part. So it's going to be the logo, on larger screens, the logo, the button, the navigation. Smaller screens, you get just the logo and the icon that when you click, other stuff happens. So let's start by adding the logo and stuff like that. So I'm not going to show you the nav for the moment because I'm going to have plenty of stuff you better pay attention to here. So we have imported the link component at the top. That's why I'm going to use it right away. Okay, link. And this link, like all other links, need to have a href. In this case, it's going to take us to the route, to the home page, as usual, like logos normally do. I'm going to pass the href to it, so I don't forget it. And I'm going to give a class name, and it's going to be cursor pointer. Okay? Okay, inside this link, I'm going to host a p tag. If I can do that. Looks like I can't. Okay, a p tag, and this p tag is going to have a class name of text custom gold, because this is our color, font bold, text 3XL. On LG, I actually want to reduce the text size to 2XL only. And then on XL breakpoint, I want to enlarge the text size again, but this time to 4XL. Okay, and the text is this. Okay, this is the website title. Okay. Okay. If we, okay, there you go. Now we have it. Exactly the same thing. Cool. So we are on track. So the link is done. So we now need to work on the navigation for bigger screens. So we're gonna need like a UL, and this UL will contain all the navigation links on bigger screen. So let's not caps lock, come on. Okay, so I want the UL, not caps lock. What the heck? Pushing the wrong button. Don't know what's wrong with me today. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna have plenty of classes on this one. I'm gonna just style the UL element, so it's gonna start as Eden. Okay, why is this? It's Eden at the beginning because we only want to show this navigation for larger screens, which means starts as Eden, and when it reaches a given breakpoint, in this case LG, we change it to flex, so we show it. Which means we are not going to show this until the LG breakpoint. So LG breakpoint onwards, this gets shown. I'm going to use uppercase, so I don't have to style the links individually. I just give to the UL, okay? And the font is going to be semi-bold, okay? Text, it's going to be custom 14 pixels. I'm not sure if Tailwind actually has this class for 14 pixels or not. I don't really care. I'm doing this many times, so I show you that you can customize. But of course, if there's a class for 14 pixels, you can and should use it instead. So on Excel, I want to actually increase this text size to 16 pixels. Text 16 because we get a larger horizontal area. So I want to take the chance and increase the text a little bit, and I want the cursor to be pointer. Okay, cool. This is my UL. So as you know, UL UL tags nest li tags. Okay, so li, and we are going to need 4 li's: home, airport transfers. So we're gonna need home, airport transfers, explore, and contact. So we're gonna need these 4. So I'm actually gonna do 1. So class name, margin right of 4. On other, I want text custom gold. Okay. What else do I want? Of course, I am gonna need to have the li, not the li, the link tag, which means the href. In this case, it's going to be the root again, because we are sending the user to the home page, and I think this is it. So what I'm gonna do is to make a tiny bit of room in here so we see better what's happening. So I think this is good. So I'm gonna copy paste this 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and this is easy for you to read, and I'm gonna edit this. This time I want to go to airport, not like that, of course, airport transfers, and I'm gonna go to explore, and the explore page is going to look like a Latvian page in terms of the UI and UX, but with more options. Contact is the last one. Contact. I'm giving margin right to all of these links so they are not so close together, but the last one actually doesn't need it, so I'm gonna just remove it. Okay, and now we can have a look, and we should be able to see it happening. Of course, we don't see it on small screens. That's the point. That's what we have defined it, right? So it's hidden, right? Starts at hidden, but on LG breakpoint, we are going to start seeing it. Boom, there you go. See? This is exactly what we wanted, and we do see the text font size increasing both on the logo and the links. Can you notice that? Cool. So we basically did what we had to do there, and we are missing, of course, the button, but we are on track. Okay, so the button comes next. Sorry, my computer is super slow, and therefore I get stuck. I'm gonna show this is what we are working on. Okay. Okay, cool. So the UL is taken care. We finish it, the UL. Cool. What else do we need to do? Now we need the button. So I'm gonna create a div for that. First thing is to create that div. Okay. In this div, we'll host the button. Okay. So because this is another component, I'm just gonna call this button another component, because we are not going to build this on this video. See, it's here, but now we see like we should. So we have the logo, the links, and the button, but both the button and the links for larger screens should only be visible on larger screens. So on smaller screens, both should disappear. and that is happening for the links but not for the button. So we are going to take care of that, okay, because we want to make this disappear and show the icon instead. So how are we going to do that? It's simple. So we use the same trick. It's not really much a trick, it's just a convention, to be honest, but okay. So starts as hidden like the other one, and on LG grows to flex, appears, because that's what we did right here for the UL. Okay, so now of course it's what we wanted. Okay, cool. So this is cool. I'm gonna leave this because this is another component, so I'm gonna leave it as it is. I'm just actually gonna add the link that the button will take, because the component will go inside the link, which means I'm gonna prepare the link in advance. So this actually means that this goes like this, and okay, which means that we need a href, of course, that's the usual thing. And in this case, we are linking to a page called pre-booking. Okay, pre-booking. And I also need to pass the href. Pass href. Okay. Many times I tend to forget to pass the href, but guess what? If you don't do it, Next will complain, will throw you an error warning, I'm not really sure. I think a warning, and then you know that you need to pass the href. So Visual Studio Code actually gives you that recommendation. Okay, so what else do I need to do? The button goes in here, so this is good. Okay, so we have the three main things on larger screens. So basically larger screens, once the component is here, but let's just simulate it is. Let's simulate this is what we wanted. We have the three things that we want on larger screens, which means they disappear on smaller screens, and that means that when they disappear, we want to firstly show the hamburger icon, and when the hamburger icon gets clicked, we show the close icon, and we also show the navigation like we have it in our example. So hamburger icon, I clicked, see the button, the moment this button gets clicked, two things happen. Changes to another icon and opens the navigation. See? That's what we are trying to do. Cool. So now, what do we want? Let me think. Yeah, so we need to work on the icons. So we need to toggle the icons, the buttons on smaller screens. So I'm actually gonna make, like, as usual, I guess. I'm gonna make a comment. Okay, and smaller screens, toggle buttons, toggle icons. Let's continue this. So we need a div here. Okay, and this div on click event is going to run a function, this function that we created right here. Okay, so this is quite important. This is going to trigger what we need. I'm gonna style it a bit, block, and on LG either Z10. Cool. So now we need a tiny bit of logic to figure out what we want to do. So if navigation is true, if I'm seeing the hamburger icon menu, okay, I want to do something. else I want to do something else. Okay. Okay. So if I'm seeing the hamburger icon, I actually want to display the close button icon. Okay. Just like that. We need to give it a size of 22, I guess it was. And we can also style it, class name, text, custom white, so the icon gets this color. Okay, this is what I want. Else, I want to do the same thing, but not with this icon, of course. I want to display the other icon, which is the hamburger icon. Okay, this basically means that if I'm seeing the hamburger icon on click, when I click I want to see the close icon. If I'm seeing the close icon, I want to see the hamburger icon, because we are doing this on click event, running this function, and this function changes from one to the other. Okay. What else? So now this is like the icons part, but we need to now handle the other stuff. So let's add another comment, and I'm gonna say smaller screens, navigation links, something like this. This means we will have a lot of we will use, with the help of the help of the logic, we will apply given classes on a given situation. So what I'm going to do is to create another div, okay, and this div will have a class name, and now cannot be this syntax because we need to use the logic. So I need to do it this way instead. And what I'm saying is, let me think a bit. So if navigation is true, okay, if this is true, do this. Oops. Do this. Else, do that. So this is the syntax, okay? I'm just putting it this way. I think this is all good. So on LG, I want it to make it hidden, not visible then. Absolute. Then I want top 0, right 0, bottom 0, and left 0. Okay, and I want to use flexbox, and I want to say justify center in this case, okay, not between. Items center as well, items center with full, right, and the height of screen. So all the screen gets, if I make it, I grow it to the size of the screen. BG custom blue, okay, which is this bluish color. I want to enlarge this so you see all the classes. Text center. No, I said item center, so all good. Is in, and duration 300. Okay, cool. So now, if this is not true, what happens? Something similar, of course. So this part is always the same. So I can just copy paste this. But what is going to change is the left. Left means in this case I'm going to use a custom value, and that is minus 100%, which means this is going to hide it 100% to the left. And if this is true, will come from the left to the right. Okay, so flex, justify center, items center. I made a typo there. Be aware of the typos. And the width, so the width full, screen, the width full. I'm just checking so I'm not forgetting stuff, of course. The width full screen, and the BG it's the same, so text still center, is in, and duration 300. Duration 300. Hopefully I'm not forgetting anything, so we can actually test that. So what happens if I think I can test it right away. Test. And I need to make this smaller. So I have my button. There you go. See, it is working. So basically, when the button gets clicked, two things happen. The button goes away and gets replaced by the X, the X to close the menu, and the navigation comes really quickly from left to right. Okay, and this is only happening, of course, on smaller screens, medium-sized screens, and then there's a breakpoint. When it breaks to larger screens, the button is not there anymore, and we show the navigation on larger screens. So in terms of functionality, it is all working. Things are getting displayed and going hidden when necessary. So this is all good. So all we have to do is to work on the content inside this div, which is right here. So we are on track to finish this. All good. This is a bit tricky, I know. One tiny detail and we mess that up. It's just a reality, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have basically a div in here inside this div. So I'm gonna have div nav header. So basically I'm gonna nest another div in here, and everything will go inside this div. Okay, which means this is all good now. So all we are going to be doing is inside this div. Okay, so we can start by styling it class name. Positioning divs correctly, it's crucial. Sometimes we put it in the wrong place and breaks everything, so be aware of that. With full, what is that? With full text custom white, text 1XL. Okay, this div will contain three other divs. The first one, it's going to be the logo. If you see it right here in our final version. So we are inside this main div, but now we need three other divs. One for the logo, one for the navigation, and the other one for the button. Okay, that's what we are going to be doing now. So inside this div, I better start by adding three divs individually, so I do not mess up, because I sometimes mess up. So I'm gonna put it like this. I'm just preparing my markup so I do not forget to add any div. So actually the second one, it's not even a div, it's the UI, the UL. I could use a div, but that's unnecessary. So let's work on this first div. I'm actually gonna split it a bit like this so you really see what I'm doing. So class name, this one needs to be width full, of course, horizontally, margin bottom of 10, okay, padding bottom of 10, and then flex, justify center items, if I can type, items, center, and mx, not max, mx auto. Now this div is ready to nest our link component, because this is going to be the logo and I want it to be clickable. Okay, so link, okay, and as usual the link of course needs the href prop, nothing new about it, and as usual as well we need to take the user to the root, to the home page, and I need to pass the href, and I'm also gonna pass on click the function that we created, because if the user is inside this navigation, I'm going to show it. So if I click here or whatever in these links, I go to one of these pages, doesn't matter. But if I click on the logo, not only I will be going to the home page, but I will also close this without closing there, of course. So I click here, boom. That's why on click I want to pass this function, okay? I want to run this function on click. So now I need the image component, image, okay? Not like that, like this. And the image component, as you know, needs, what the heck, image. And the image component needs a source, needs alt, needs width, needs height. You need these 4 things. This is like the bare minimum thing when you are using an image from what is wrong with this? Image, next image. Yeah, it's my computer is so slow, but she'll be fine in a moment. I don't think I'm doing anything. I think I'm not doing anything wrong. So in this image, I'm actually just gonna copy the logo that I do not have yet. So I can actually pass, I can actually do it. Now I'm gonna pass here the logo. I don't have this logo in my images folder. Just gonna call like logotype. You need a better alt tag for this, of course. 300. It's gonna break, of course. It is breaking because I don't have this image. So I need to find that image. Okay. So I'm gonna look for that image on my other project. And I need to, do I have images? No, I haven't. I don't even have this folder because we haven't created that. I'm not gonna really give you all the images. I'm just gonna give you a few as an example. Then you can come up with your own images. So trying to find it, sorry, plenty of stuff. So I need to go to the public folder. Yeah, inside public folder, of course, I need images folder, which I don't have, so I better create it right away. Images. I think I found it. Okay, this should be it. And I also wanted to give a class name of height auto, with auto. So this is done. First thing is done, so we have the image. Now we need to work on the UL, so where the navigation links will go inside. So let's just work on that. And for that, we need to style it, adding X of 8, uppercase, so everything gets uppercase, font bold, okay, cursor pointer, okay, and then in here I'm gonna start having plenty of divs. Well, not plenty, like not divs, allies. And it's not plenty, it's just 4, I believe. So this ally, on click, I want to use the same thing, take me to this route and close my navigation. And then I need a class name of margin right 4. I don't need a class name of margin right of 4, I'm thinking, so I just need on other, it's actually the other way around, on other text custom code, padding white 4, and in here of course I'm gonna need my link, okay, link, so the href, it's going to be, okay, the href, it's going to be to the root page, to the home page, and I'm gonna say home. I think this is good. I'm gonna copy it one more time, change these to airport transfers, airport transfers, airport transfers, and the next one is explore, so this route needs to be changed to explore, and the last one is going to be contact. The route needs to be contact, okay, and this means our UL is done. Let me just have a quick look. Oh, this is what's wrong. See? This is the problem. Because we see the image here, and we shouldn't. I think this is the typo that is causing that silly problem. I believe that if I just fix that like that, if I now refresh, there you go. Now we have it correctly. So do not forget to close this here, otherwise we'll get the same problem, of course. Probably you noticed it before, so this was what was causing the image to be here visible when it shouldn't. Okay? Alright, so let's continue. So all we have to do is to work on our last div, which is going to be one more time a div, and then we will host this component. So it's going to be this another component. So what we need to do is class name and flex, justify center, items center, margin top of 12. I have it there. Padding bottom of 5. Okay. One more time, we need to use our link component inside it. So let's go, baby. Boom. Okay, our link component. As we know it, we need to use the href. Nothing new here. We always need it. This one is going to pre-booking. It's going to the same place like on the other example above. And we also need to pass the href. Okay, and on click we also want to run this function, and inside we need to use the component that we do not have, another component, and we will do this on the next video. So let's see if this is all working or not. So first thing, smaller screens, I get this up to medium size, and then goes away, and we see the three options: the logo, the navigation, and the button that we will create. So this is all good. Small screens, we click, opens, and we can close it, all good. And we are also missing here, but this is what we have also here. So it's all working apart from this button that is missing. And we are going to create a custom component because we will reuse it a lot. We'll just pass a different text in the different URL, but UI is going to be the same. So we will reuse a component. Yeah, so this is good. This is done. I'm happy. And on the next video, we'll work on this component, and we will call it inside here and inside there. So this is it for today. I hope you enjoyed. And keep watching, subscribe, activate all the notifications so you do not miss any video and you can really finish this project. See you. Bye.